Today on Investigate TV Plus, it's a medication powerful enough to reverse an opioid overdose, but there's hesitation to expand access. However,
I think we have a responsibility to help our members.
One group fights to make sure those with critical risk can get this life-saving tool.
We have to find a way to protect the workers.
We reveal the solution saving lives and an industry fighting back against high rates of overdose.
plus, when control is disguised as love, the warning signs can be hard to see.
He had me convinced that this was actually my decision. It really got into my head in that way.
We examine why intimate partner violence first strikes at a young age and how education can lead to prevention.
Then we take you to a double-decker bus decked out for a cozy overnight stay.
I think it's really cool to be able to take something that feels like it's done and give it a new life.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus.
The opioid crisis has held America in its grips for decades, but there is hope as signs of improvement are starting to show. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. CDC data reveals about 30,000 fewer overdose deaths in 2024 compared to 2023. We're still awaiting numbers for 2025, but that's a nearly 27% decrease year to year.
While there's no single known reason for that reduction, many experts believe increased availability of Naloxone, also known as Narcan, is a big factor.
It's a medication that can rapidly reverse an overdose from opioids such as fentanyl, heroin, and prescription pills.
In March of 2023, the FDA approved Naloxone for over-the-counter use. Since then, places like schools, libraries, public transit, even some airplanes are now stocking it.
Now there's a push to expand access even further by adding Naloxone to first aid kits in the workplace.
Reporter Heather Graff has an in-depth look from recent legislative efforts to guidance for employers and shows why some companies hope the overdose antidote can help keep employees safe.
The constant activity, the noise, power tools, and heavy machinery. All part of the job and all inherent hazards on a construction site.
About 250 workers at any given time on this project.
So as Vice President of Safety for the CBG Building Company in Maryland, Dan Blankfeld tries to protect those crews as best as he can.
We're also looking for the way they're accessing these elevated platforms, the way they're working off of ladders.
But he knows one of the top killers in this line of work can be more difficult to detect.
Overdose is a national epidemic right now, specifically in the construction population.
According to this CDC report published in 2023, construction has the highest death rate from drug overdose when compared to other occupations. The latest available numbers show more than 162 overdose deaths per 100,000 construction workers.
When you hear those numbers, what goes through your mind?
It's absolutely unacceptable.
Chris Trahan-Kane is executive director of the Center for Construction Research and Training, where they've been tracking this scary trend for years.
It is very clear that there's contributing factors from our industry.
What are some of those contributing factors?
Precarious employment. If you work in an office and you turn your ankle, you can use a day to take a slow day at home and elevate ice and rest. If you do that and you're a construction worker, you don't get paid. So there's a real push to work through pain.
And she says pushing through the pain oftentimes involves prescription pain meds.
So what happens when you cannot fill your prescription? We know that's one of the paths towards a substance use disorder and the use of illicit drugs.
I heard that story over and over and over. people from dying. So there's a big push, I think, throughout the country.
And not just in construction. The nonprofit National Safety Council has been advocating for employers in all industries to start including naloxone in workplace first aid kits.
I don't think a lot of folks realize that about 10% of workplace deaths are actually due to overdose on the job.
The organization points to data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics that shows workplace deaths due to unintentional overdose climbed for 10 straight years from 2012 to 2022. With just a slight decrease, 512 overdose deaths in 2023.
So just like you would have an AED or a first aid kit for any other potential concern or injury or emergency in the workplace, the same concept applies to naloxone. So it's just one more tool in the toolbox, which is really critical for safety.
And there have been some recent developments. In 2024, Amazon announced it would begin stocking naloxone at the company's warehouses nationwide. And California became the first state to move toward requiring naloxone in the workplace. Assembly Bill 1976, as signed into law, directs the state's Occupational Safety and Health Standards Board to begin the process to revise existing regulations. Still, some hesitancy remains. An NSC survey of more than 500 employers found 50% were currently stocking naloxone, while 27% were considering it, 6% were opposed to it, and 17% had little or no knowledge about what it is.
I would say the primary challenge to expanding naloxone access in many different forms, including in businesses, is stigma.
Kristen Schneider of the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health has studied naloxone as a harm reduction and public health tool.
There's also this misperception that naloxone is enabling to people who use drugs, but there's no good scientific evidence indicating that that is in fact the case.
Snyder also reminds people that if naloxone is administered to someone who doesn't have opioids in their system, it will do no harm.
The worst case scenario is you save someone's life.
Meanwhile, the CDC has issued some guidance for employers, along with protocols to consider before implementing a naloxone program, with employee training near the top of the list.
These are the steps for using naloxone.
And that's exactly what Dan Blankfeld and the CBG Building Company chose to do in Maryland. A naloxone class, now part of new hire orientation.
It's the same reason we wear hard hats, safety vests, and it's the same reason why we put fire extinguishers every 50 feet.
And the medication, always stocked on the job site.
We have to find a way to protect the workers, sometimes from themselves. So this is life-saving.
That construction company told us they did a lot of research before actually implementing a naloxone program, and the Society for Human Resource Management says that's exactly the right move. One of SHRM's biggest tips is to do your homework surrounding local laws and potential liability considerations in your state.
Of course, the most common thing that protects those who try to render aid to another person are Good Samaritan laws. In most of our states, and even more refined in specific counties or metropolitan areas, have laws that protect people who try to save the life of another.
And when it comes to employee training on naloxone, SHRM recommends employers set up specific policies and procedures. Things like who's calling 911 and when, who is actually administering the naloxone, as well as training employees to recognize the signs of overdose.
Still ahead, in life, relationships of all kinds can become complicated quickly. What starts as common interest can lead to control.
He changed his major to the same major that I had so that we were always in class together.
We examine the impact of intimate partner violence on young adults and reveal the key to prevention.
Plus, meet the women fighting back in the case of an attack.
I think that women in general just want to feel confident. They want to feel like they can defend themselves.
We take you to one self-defense class, giving women the skills and confidence to take on any threat. It's not an easy subject to talk about, but it's an important one.
Intimate partner violence impacts families, friends, and likely someone you know.
Here are the facts. More than 61 million women and 53 million men have experienced intimate partner violence in their lifetime. According to the CDC, it's important to talk about the signs of an abusive relationship with preteens and teens because that's an age where many people first encounter intimate partner violence.
In a moment, we'll talk about how to have those conversations and reveal one resource empowering some young adults to protect themselves.
But first, we introduce you to two women and explain why young people are most at risk. In between the tears and embraces, the people closest to Michelle Gonzalez remember her as a vibrant and courageous woman.
My sister was so strong, so brave, even to her last moments.
Those last moments were on February 26, 2025. Lincoln, Nebraska police say that afternoon, Michelle's boyfriend, Ibrahim Ohamadani, hit Michelle with his car, chased her down, and then shot her several times before turning the gun on himself. Michelle was just 21.
The fact that she looked genuinely happy didn't make me question, and I regret that so much.
According to the National Intimate Partner and Sexual Violence Survey, more than 70% of women and 60% of men first experience intimate partner violence under the age of 25.
Young people are new to dating and new to relationship dynamics.
April Zioli is a professor at the University of Michigan School of Public Health and has spent decades researching intimate partner violence and ways to prevent it. She says people under the age of 25 are more likely to be inexperienced and uneducated when it comes to navigating relationships.
Quite honestly, the adolescent brain is evolving, is growing, is maturing. Their frontal cortex is not mature and they cannot think and perceive the future in the way full adults can.
According to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, intimate partner violence stems from a desire to gain and maintain control over a partner. The most common way this is carried out, Zioli says, is through emotional and psychological abuse. She says the signs can be difficult to detect, especially for younger generations.
Controlling behaviors can sometimes look like love. And if somebody, they want to spend all their time with you because they just can't get enough of you. They are obsessed with you. They love you so much. So they now engage in the activities that maybe you did alone.
I was a freshman in college.
When Shannon Berry met her second boyfriend, she says control was disguised as common interest.
He changed his major to the same major that I had so that we were always in class together. Pretty quickly, it was like I was really isolated.
It was almost 30 years ago, but Berry remembers the details.
I remember him often telling me, like, well, if you're really a feminist, like, why do you wear makeup? Why do you have to have your hair long?
But she says they were traps set by him using her values against her. Over time, Berry says the control started to change her.
I cut off all my hair. I stopped wearing makeup. I was dressed in baggy clothes most of the time. He had me convinced that this was actually my decision. It really got into my head in that way.
Berry was able to escape her college relationship, but she didn't recognize it as intimate partner violence until she started working at Domestic Abuse Intervention Services, or DAIS, in Madison, Wisconsin. More than 25 years later, she's trying to change how we talk about intimate partner violence and domestic abuse.
Unless we start having these conversations really honestly and sharing kind of the narratives and the experiences of survivors, to be able to have other people who are in the community, maybe like myself, when I heard that survivor story, go, oh my gosh, that's me, right? I mean, that was the most powerful gift somebody ever gave me.
Back in Lincoln, Nebraska, friends and family write messages to Michelle on purple balloons, her favorite color, and a color that has come to represent domestic violence awareness.
It shouldn't come to this point where multiple women are losing their lives, and then now there's awareness.
Moving forward, they vowed to keep talking about Michelle and to share her bravery with the world.
And I know that she is safe now, and I hate that this is the way that she became safe, but I know she's safe, she's happy, she's full, and she's watching us right now, mad that we're all sad because she's happy.
Help is out there for anyone experiencing intimate partner violence. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24/7 at the number on your screen or at thehotline.org.
Now we want to talk about ways to prevent this kind of violence.
The CDC says that starts with education. The agency offers an online tool for parents and educators called Dating Matters and focuses on teaching teens healthy relationship skills. According to the CDC, students in middle schools that offer Dating Matters reported lower levels of teen dating violence perpetration and victimization. Experts acknowledge prevention is the best strategy to reduce this violence.
But we also want to talk about a program empowering women to defend themselves in the face of danger.
You ready?
Yep. No! Still ahead, we take you to one self-defense class where women learn how to stand up to an attacker.
We want to continue our conversation on intimate partner violence, and a warning: sexual assault is part of that discussion.
According to a survey from the National Sexual Assault Resource Center, more than half of women who reported a rape said it was by an intimate partner.
In North Carolina, some women say they feel safer and more confident after taking a self-defense class.
Reporter Natisha Lance takes us to the training.
Lexi Arnold is a women's self-defense trainer.
My goal with my self-defense classes is literally to be able to fight instead of freeze, because it's a mindset thing.
It's something Lexi found out the hard way.
I've been through 2 assaults and I didn't report either of them. I was too young.
She was 16 the first time.
The first situation I was in was a best friend, and he forced himself on me.
Lexi says she froze.
After that, I was like, if anything were to happen to me again, I would fight out. You try to move your head, could follow him.
And fight she did when a boyfriend attacked her during a breakup.
I hit him, gave him a black eye, broken nose, and got out of the situation.
Lexi stresses that education and knowing how to protect yourself from an attack is just as important as the moves she teaches to get out of one.
You're never too old or young to learn self-defense.
Janetta Wells came to class with her bestie and her goddaughter to help get her ready for college.
Just understanding the risks that are out there in the world, and I just don't want her to be afraid. I want her to be prepared instead of reacting in the situation.
So one of the techniques that we teach is a knee strike.
The Rock Hill Police Department started offering the self-defense course to the public 3 years ago.
We typically teach them grab either the shoulders or the waist. We started receiving a lot of interest, requests from the community about just being interested in women's self-defense. You ready?
Yep. No!
We want to have women understand is that they can defend themselves. They can say no in any situation if they don't feel comfortable.
Women in general just want to feel confident. They want to feel like they can defend themselves.
If you're considering a class, the National Resource Center on Domestic Violence recommends seeking out more than just a self-defense course, but trauma-informed classes that include psychological skills or assertiveness training.
Still ahead, a British double-decker bus gets new life as a one-of-a-kind overnight experience.
The most common thing that I hear that I love is the pictures don't do it justice.
We explore its connection to one city's history. Suspended in the Wisconsin North Woods sits a military plane from a different era.
Among the history of this World War II aircraft, you'll find a compact yet cozy overnight stay.
That's the biggest thing that interested me, was just the actual history of the plane, or to bring it back so it still had some of that authenticity to it.
More than 1,200 miles south, a different form of transportation is on the same track when it comes to iconic accommodations.
Welcome to the Trainwreck Inn. This retro motel in Louisiana allows guests to stay in a 19th century train car.
I think people like to stay in unique things. And then they're also, we've made them comfortable. So you kind of get the best of both worlds.
From hotel, planes, and trains, it's only fitting we now highlight an automobile.
Reporter Io Elise is in Portland, Oregon on a boutique bus offering a one-of-a-kind stay.
This is a 1953 British double-decker bus from Manchester that made its way from England to the United States in the 70s. When it became mine, I converted it into a rental unit, and now it sits in my backyard.
And that rental has a beloved history not only across the pond, but also in Portland too.
So when I got this double-decker bus, it was maybe 7 years after it had been the grilled cheese grill, which was a food cart here in Portland.
After 8 months of work, Scott was able to start welcoming guests.
Most common thing that I hear that I love is the pictures don't do it justice.
As it enters its final stretch of road, it seems like the double-decker bus has finally found its final place as a humble abode.
I think it's really cool to be able to take something that feels like it's done and give it a new life.
That's a pretty good bus hotel room. They did a good job. Hardwood floors in there.
Some very nice interior decorating. That bus has come a long way.
It has come a long way. You need to book a spot there.
A ticket.
A ticket. There you go.
Ticket to stay on the bus.
I like it.
Well, that's it for us on Investigate TV Plus. I'm T. Chappelle.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Thanks for watching.
On the next Investigate TV Plus, a mom demands answers after she says her daughter was neglected in her group home.
When this involves my child, why wouldn't I be able to see it? Was there really an investigation? Did you ask more than 1 or 2 questions?
We examine a family's struggle for accountability and reveal systemic challenges within one care industry.